first glance, I think it's quite an obvious one, isn't it? It's quite an obvious one. The clear, and again, this isn't the squad announcement for the games against Bermuda and Trinidad and Tobago. It's a squad list there of players that they're planning on watching, and they also said that they're keeping eyes on other players as well, but we can only go with what's in front of us. So what's in front of us at present is quite top F heavy. I don't know why, but it's very top heavy. You can guess the only person that can answer that is the gaffer or whoever is in charge of the scouting. It is top heavy. It is imbalance. It kind of gives you some instant anxiety, and obviously we know that there's a few key injuries there. Andre Blake, the captain, the skipper, will be unavailable. I think that's a massive loss. A stalwart, reliable, like I said, our number one goalkeeper. And then there's also the omission of Leon Bailey. Both players there are unavailable due to injuries. It's probably a subjective take to some fans. I think in terms of reliable, who's the more reliable of the two, I think it's a straightforward answer with that one, isn't it? It's Andre Blake. No disrespect to Leon Bailey. Like I said, a bit of a subjective take there for some fans. For some, he won't be missed because when he does put on the national colors, the black, green, and gold, it doesn't really do much in it. So for some fans, he won't be missed. But speedy recovery to both players, and both are expected to return for the October window, pending that the recovery process goes according to plan. Hopefully, it does. Um, so then we look at the squad list again, or at least I looked at the squad list, and I'm still asking myself the same question, and maybe you guys have an answer for myself. Do we still need to ask whether the head coach or the Jamaica Football Federation pull players up based on a meritocratic system? Let me know in the comment section. I'm going to reiterate, and I'm not really sure how many times I need to say this, but for me, there are some clear non-negotiables as it relates to player call-ups. Like, we all have our own way of doing things. I'm obviously not a coach, not a manager, not trying to be, but I think there's some clear non-negotiables. For me, um, the non-negotiables are, you must be a list of non-negotiables for myself, and a few of those non-negotiables for me is that you must be employed by a club. You must be employed by a club. You must be in a position where you are accumulating a number of minutes. Now, obviously, context is key, especially at this point of the season where we're just literally started off the brand new football campaign for the 2025-2026 season. So that being said, there's only a handful of games that's been played. So that's kind of out of the player's control as it relates to accumulation of minutes. And, you can probably extend that depending on the position that a player plays in. Whether you should call them up is one thing, whether they should start or whether they should be on a bench, that's another question there to ponder over. So if you look at, let's say, the goalkeeper situation, are you going to call up a goalkeeper that's unemployed? I should think not. Are you going to call up a goalkeeper that's sat on their bench? You probably would if the goalkeeper is experienced, but I think the bigger question is, who are you going to start? If you have a goalkeeper that's sat on the bench versus a goalkeeper just starting week in, week out. Again, we know we have the season only just started, but let's say that the goalkeeper that's between the sticks for their respective clubs is keeping clean sheets and winning matches. That should be an indication that one is more ready to go in terms of match fitness, right? So I think there's a couple leeways there to look at things in terms of what do you do when you're looking at those accumulation of minutes that should be required to warrant a player to a call up. But again, for me, players without clubs, no call ups. I'm firm on that. I'm not going to break my stance. You cannot call up an unemployed player to represent the national team. That is ludicrous. That's madness. Now, is it hypocrisy or is it transparency? I think it depends on how you're looking at it, really. Are you thinking of your head? Are you thinking of your heart? Is it a combination of the two? And I'm not trying to scapegoat anyone, but if we look at the forwards there, and we look at midfield, there's a clear omission there from midfield. I'm going to go ahead and give that a quick little read, unless my eyes are fooling me. Again, not trying to scapegoat anyone, but you can clearly see the omission of Ravel Morrison. But you can also look at the forward and see the inclusion of Michail Antonio. And the reason why I picked out those two players there is because it clearly says here Reggae Boys Road to 2026 watch list. So again, going back to the question, is it hypocrisy? Is it transparency? I'll leave you guys to determine that one. But to me, this is an indication that they're not looking at Ravel Morrison for the 2026 watch list. And yes, they put something out on their Twitter or their X social media account that says they are looking at other players, even if they're not on the list, something of that ilk, that they are, there's other players there who didn't make the list that they happen to be looking at. I should think that you've gone so top heavy, it wouldn't have hurt you to put Ravel Morrison in midfield if you were looking at him. So I think he's not on the list. Both players are unemployed currently. I don't really see what sense it makes to include one and not include the other if you're simply just looking at them because it's a watch list. I think it doesn't make much sense. I think it's unfair. And I think, yet again, it sets a poor precedent. I think it's one rule for one and it's another rule for a next man. And, are we saying they're being hypocrites or are we saying they're being transparent? I can't really determine that one for you guys. That one is entirely down to you. I'll leave you guys to determine that one.